everybody. Welcome to The Settler's Path. This is Grievance's WildStar show, and we are here to talk about... Are we here to talk about WildStar? I don't know. I have not been here for the last 2 weeks, and I have been real bad. Steele's been yelling at me. Creed kicked me in the butt, and Streeg just pointed fingers at me and said, "Exile scum." Oh, wait. No, he didn't say that. So good evening. I'm Kannon Fodder. With me, Steel. Hi, Steel.
Hey.
I got Creed, who is my executive officer. Hi, Creed. And Streeg. We have the scum of the earth, Streeg. Hello, Streeg. How you gentlemen doing tonight? Steel? Oh, drinking coffee. Creed. Gotta be quicker. Creed, how are you?
How's everybody doing?
Now you, Steel. How are you?
I am doing terrific, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay. You know, it's been busy couple of weeks. All the weather. Everybody's been suffering with this weather. East Coast is just getting rocked.
You couldn't pay me enough to move north of Interstate 10. Just wouldn't happen.
Is that where all the snow starts for you?
That's where it starts getting colder in my mind.
Now Creed lives in Atlanta, right, Creed?
That's correct.
How much snow?
We've been getting hit over here too. This is unusual for us. I'm telling you, we got hit a few weeks ago, and I was like, okay, that's it for Georgia. It's done. And now we got hit again. And this time it was ice, and man, I tell you, this state just does not know how to handle.
Well, brother, how do you think I feel? I live a block north of the Gulf of Mexico, maybe two blocks. And 2 weeks ago, everything was iced over and we had snow flurries. I don't think we've had snow flurries for 10 years.
That's amazing.
It's been crazy.
Yeah. And of course,
I don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for him at all.
Both Streeg and I, we live out northern New York, because not New York City. There is more than New York City in New York, just to warn you guys.
Yes,
We're used to snow.
Yes. I'm sick of it. Freeze my butt off up here.
Oh, that's okay. This time next year, you'll be WildStarring it.
I sure hope so. I
Just
am
an
really
excuse to stay home out of the cold.
Where you going? Are you going outside to snow blow the? No, not at all. Not going to do it.
Send the
I'm in real trouble next year because my kid goes away to college next year, so I don't know who's going to shovel my sidewalk.
Well,
I have to go back out and get another pickup truck so I can just drive back and forth over it and say, it's flat.
Well, before we continue on here, to everybody that is in the areas just getting in hard that you're not used to it, just be safe out there. Stay off the roads if you're not used to it, because boy, if you don't know how to drive in the ice and the snow, you're gonna hurt yourself, and you might possibly hurt somebody else, and it's just not worth it. Stay home. Like yes, then you meet the fire department. So, well, anyway, WildStar. It's what we're here for. It's what we're here to talk about. And we know that we're all great at talking. So they had to release a WildStar Flicks, they call them, a little video and everything like that. So Dash, if you wouldn't mind, throw up that adventure video for them to watch.
This was a really cool video.
We're all kind of sitting here. Sorry.
Greetings. I am the Caretaker, a powerful virtual construct created by the Elden to monitor all scientific experiments on the planet Nexus. Excuse my erratic behavior, but it seems that I have developed certain instabilities since the Elden abandoned me here long ago. I am responsible for analyzing the physical and mental weaknesses of sentient organisms, such as yourselves. It is important that I clearly understand the potential of my subjects in order to best determine how to annihilate them. Oh my. Are you ready? Then please, step forward into this virtual adventure in order to begin. Don't be alarmed. The experience will be excruciatingly painful! During your adventure, your group will be subjected to a variety of climates, environments, and situations, all chosen specifically to end your pathetic existence! Success will require more than skill in combat. During your experience, you and your companions will be expected to make critical decisions that require both intelligence and intuition. Choose well and be rewarded. Choose poorly and be destroyed! Every choice leads to a new eventuality, and every eventuality a new choice. And remember, this virtual world is my twisted domain! I make the rules and I determine the severity of your punishment! And the best part? You can experience them over and 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 over again. Thank you for participating in this experiment. I have learned a great deal, and I am certain that we will meet again very soon.
Thank you very much, Dash. Gosh, I love those videos.
I tell you what, they put out some amazing videos.
Yes, they do.
Really do.
So, gentlemen, adventures. Crazy guy giving us stuff to do. Well, we'll start. Caretaker, the green dude, or something. Red. What do you think of the caretaker, Mr. Steele?
He's pretty cool. When I first watched the video, you know, he did it real quick that one time, and I was like, oh, what was that? And I almost went back, but I didn't. Then he did it again, like, this is cool. This guy is cool. He definitely favors the Dominion just a little bit in my mind.
That's good. He'll give us the good missions. Exiles get the trash.
No chew-a-punting from him.
What do you think, Streeg? You like the dude?
I do like the dude. He's a little, as you can see, you know, he's nice and green and friendly in the beginning. Obviously exile, and then apparently corrupted by some Dominion virus that's corrupting his computer, and he turns all red. So, you know, if you're good, you behave, you give him what do you want, you get the nice, sweet, awesome exile side. And if you don't give him what he wants, he turns into some Dominion evil dude, and you just run, man.
So you, I mean, you being an exile, I know you're going to play the Orin. You're obviously Orin material. You're just going to run around. You're going to give him a hug. You're going to give what you want. Give him a hug. I know you will.
I am purely Mordesh, man. I am unable to die. I am a ninja. Whoa.
Oh, jeez. Awesome. Creed, do you think we can trust this guy? I mean, this guy is kind of all over the board. Oh, and the caretakers.
Mr. Hyde. I mean, you know, that's unpredictable. You know, any game that we play like this, you know, the unpredictability is part of what we want. You know, we don't want to know what the next thing that's going to happen. We want to be surprised. This guy's going to surprise us a lot.
Which actually, now you point that out that way. I mean, that's what they're describing is that, but I guess part of the video itself is just he's unpredictable. So, you know, what they're introducing us to is an instance with different paths. You know, I was reading a little bit on some of the other websites, you know, going through what the heck, you know, because you watch a video, you're like, what exactly is he telling us? So, of course, you know, I had to delve in and figure it out. So, Steele, I know you and we've been through a whole bunch of instances together, and, you know, being Star Wars and everything, it was always like a straight line. We went here, 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 and here.
Yeah, regardless of what you did.
Yep. Well, what do you think about being able to make choices?
I'm going to have to see it. I'm going to have to see it because you remember in Star Wars, it was write your own story, choose your own destiny, but every choice led to the same ending pretty much. I've got hope for this. The team at Carbine has already talked about their rating that they're going to do, where the mobs are going to do different things, and I'm assuming they're going to do that in the dungeons also. And this reminds me a lot of remember the old TSR Dungeons and Dragons Choose Your Own Adventure books.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, yeah, and that's what this reminds me of, is the Choose Your Own Adventure thing. Go this way, go that way. So we'll see, but it looks very promising. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I remember those books. I don't want to do that.
Turn to page so and so. Nope. What page was on?
Always leave a finger in there so you know right where to go back to.
We don't want nothing planned. We don't want nothing practiced. We don't want to go to a place and say, "Oh, here's what we do." Okay, we're all tired of that. Let's bring the unpredictability back into this. What's going to happen next? Whoa! Oh, I didn't see this coming. We all want that. We all want that again.
Or if it happens to be a daily or something, it's, okay, I chose this way last time. What happens when I make this decision?
Oh, exactly.
A little randomness is always nice.
What I'm kind of hoping is, that obviously from what they're describing, this is a small group instance. So whatever their team size is, I think it was 5 people is what we've been seeing in their videos. So maybe this is something that they're going to release into a raid someday. That would be cool. But I'm scary of 20 people trying to make a decision on where to go.
20? Try 40.
Try 40, yeah. I mean,
you imagine back in the old EverQuest days, everybody getting a vote what you did?
Oh.
You never get anywhere. That's what your raid leader says. Today, this is what we're going to do. Follow me.
Oh, earbud. Streeg, what do you think? Different paths through the instance. You loving it? You hating it?
Sounds interesting. I'm with Steel. I want to see it work. I almost get the impression, and I could be wrong because God knows on some of these casts I've taken my opinion and I've been way off in no man's land apparently in my own little world. So, but I'm going to do it again because that's just who I am. I almost get the opinion that you're gonna walk through this quest and little quest hubs through this adventure, and they're going to basically tell you, hey, this is what I want you to give me or whatever at the next spot, and you're going to go out and collect a few items, and when you get to back to the next quest type person, they're going to say, okay, give me something, and if you give them the right thing, you get a reward, and if you give them the wrong thing, then they turn around and attack you or something along those lines, which really kind of scares me.
Maybe they drop good loot.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. Who knows? It's a scary thing for me though, because I apologize to all you wonderful lore people out there, but I'm a click click click. I don't want to hear it. Click click. Let me go kill something. So if they're giving out the clues in the quest stuff to read, so you know which to turn in at the end of the line, I'm going to have to make sure I'm bringing somebody along with me that just loves to read stuff while I go have a cup of coffee and a cigarette while they figure it out, because I'm never going to be. I'm going to get to the end and I'm going to say, I have no idea. I didn't read any of the text. I don't know what they're looking for.
That would be Patrick. Take Patrick with you.
Yeah, here you go.
Yes. He will take the time to read.
Yes.
Who knows? I mean,
not my forte.
There's sometimes, some folks they're relieved that they make the wrong decision, and there's a big challenge in front of them all of a sudden. I mean, not everyone's going to want to read and make the right decision. Some people's going to actually want to make the wrong decision because that's just what they yearn for. Let's make the wrong decision.
I don't want to make the wrong decision.
Unless you're like level 20 and the quest giver's like 40 and he just wipes you out. Like the guards in the cities in some old ancient MMO RPG that I used to play.
Yeah, but that's usually because you hadn't rekeyed your attack key yet.
But hell,
hey, smack, one shot.
All right, so how about this? They showed in the video, the lady's in there, she's turning in her quest rewards, trying to figure out, which one do I give, the gun or the head? And they showed, obviously they showed giving the head. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but
Didn't
that
say
gun was the bad thing.
And it's the first person that thought about that. No one else did. Okay, whatever.
So she hands the quest giver the gun, the bad choice, and they all pull their guns on her. So what do you think of the idea? I'm sorry, I'm still flustered.
Looking a little red there, Ken.
Yeah. All right, Creed. So what about the possibility that you make the wrong decision and they kill you and they end the adventure right then and there? You think that's a possibility?
Oh, that's a big possibility. That'd be a bummer. And then I don't know how that it's going to be dealt with after that. You get slung out of the instance. You have to do the whole thing over again. I don't know. It's just like I said before. I mean, some people will just go up there and just they'll just advertently just throw something out there and see what happens. Let's make the wrong decision and see what kind of big monster pops out of the ground, or all of a sudden about 20 guys spawn inside this little room and we have to deal with them. I don't know. We'll have to just wait and get in there and make the wrong decision on purpose and just find out what happens.
Well, it also sounds like the object that you're going for, at least in this case, wasn't cut and dry. It wasn't go bring me a robot head or bring me not a blaster. It was almost like you're and I'm going out on a limb on this, but it's almost like they said a riddle or something, or I need something, and it was kind of vague. So that's why she's like, well, I mean, the gun or part of a robot, so there may actually be a little thinking in this one too.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yep. Okay, so the other part of it, what rewards do you think we should get for making choices like this? We think epic rewards, or are we looking for just money? What do you guys think, Streeg?
Somewhere in between. I mean, I know they have talked. This is the first time that they've shown a video and gotten a little bit in depth with these adventures, but we've heard about these adventures for months ago, that these were they were going to have the dungeons, they were going to have the raids, they were going to have the PvP war plots, and they had mentioned the adventures. So I mean, we knew that they were coming, and we know that they're kind of like a tier below dungeons, from what I gather. I believe they were like, you got your solo play, you've got your adventure, then you've got dungeons, and then raids. So I'm assuming that the awards are not going to be boss mob dungeon type loot, but I'm hoping it's more than here's your 36 copper. See you later.
Well, I guess it also fall back down to risk versus reward. If it's like, go to this vendor, I need you to purchase something to help me jumpstart my bike. Do you get over there? Do you buy a battery, or do you buy a battery charger? And what have you? Get back and okay, here's some gold to cover your cost plus a little bit more. Or, hey, I need this dragon horn from this cave way out in the middle of nowhere, and turns out to be a 40-man raid. Then, yeah, you're probably looking at epic loot.
Yeah. Creed, thoughts? I see you over there. I can hear him.
Risk versus reward. I guess high risk, again, I'm going to pull a Streeg here. I'm just going to throw some wild stuff out there. Make a wrong decision. Get a better reward, but if you make the wrong decision, a lot of stuff's going to fly your way. You make it through it alive, bigger reward. Make the right decision, maybe something else happens, a little bit lower reward. I don't know. Like Streeg says, let's come out of this with more than 36 copper. I mean, make it, kind of tough, make it kind of continue on and whatever you got to do. And then at the end, you get something worth the whole affair.
And not the same thing every time. Change it up a little bit.
Exactly. That's what I would like to see, because I don't want to go in and say it gives away a housing item or something like that, and you go in and the only thing it ever gives you is a wooden chair. Maybe once in a while I'll throw something in and give me a chandelier.
Something.
Yeah.
Something different, because you reach the point to where you don't need it anymore, whether it be money or a chair or whatever. You're not going to do it anymore.
We just don't want things memorized. We don't want to, oh, yeah, I know exactly where to get that chair. Let's go do this, and make sure you pick it this way and pick it that way. Yeah, we don't want none of that. We've had games like that for years. Let's make it completely random, throw it in your face, all that kind of stuff. And you get something different each time.
Yeah, that's true, because I don't want to go on the internet and be like, this is knowing what I want, and all I have to do is follow Theodore's post on how to get that exactly the way I want. That's very true.
Well, you got to believe that there's going to be that eventually, anyways. Even if they've got it like a randomized type thing where it constantly does a random of which questions or which riddles you're going to get. Eventually, you're going to hit the number of how many they have, whether it be 5, 10 different randomizations, and you'll be able to go out on the web and see, okay, if they say this and this is the sequence, then here's what you pick, and eventually you're going to get it.
Yeah, especially in a game that is going to allow add-ons. I mean, they're liable to come out with something, some player somewhere that is, well, you don't need to choose your own adventure. This is what happens if this happens.
Yeah.
So enjoy it while you can.
Keep in mind that they've also got all the dungeons and all the raids and all the war plots, so it's not like, that this adventure is the whole thing. So they're only going to probably invest, I would assume, so much time into so many different options and variations because they've got a whole bunch of other stuff that you can do. But I would say rest assured that with everything else that there is to do, there'll be enough options that you can do them several times and see something different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, what I'm hoping for as well is, one of the things that they said was that, they have dungeons, but also when you hit level 50 end game, you also will be able to do veteran dungeons, which is the original dungeons. I hope they kind of do something the same thing with the adventures. Maybe then we can get some even better loot out of it. Maybe a whole new loot table. We'll call it a loot table.
So. Take the whole loot table.
Yeah. So, just thoughts, stuff like that.
And as the game settles, when it does release and the game settles in and everyone finds their groove and does these adventures, I'm sure they'll add on to it. They'll give something for the level 50 guys to jump into, and
absolutely.
I'm sure it won't be very hard to add on to certain adventures or make new adventures.
So. And, of course, he said at the end, which we've already hit quite a few times, and to do the adventure over and over and over and over and over and over again. How much can you guys do it over and over and over and over again? I'm going to kind of go in the negative side of it, to be honest. I really shouldn't, but I know they're trying to make it different, make all the choices and everything like that, but how many times can you pick a way to do it, and then do you get tired of it? What do you guys think? Steel?
It falls back to when does it get bored for you?
Yeah.
I know dailies in general, they get boring pretty fast, and those are the ones that are the same thing over and over again. SWTOR, WoW, I think Rift had some, if I remember correctly. EverQuest 2 ended up having some before I quit playing that. And it was the same thing over and over again. Log in, do your dailies, get these badges for this armor, get some money for this, or get some gems for this. And, it's just a hamster wheel, man. It just keeps on going and going and going and going. So I like their approach as far as changing it up. I really do, because it'll make it monotonous, or not monotonous, but different. But there's going to come a point where you've done everything. All the branches or whatever, and it may be in a week, it may be in a month, or what have you, but there will come a point that it will be just another daily.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't happen. Actually, it'd be nice if they could do updates on them where they change it.
Add another branch. That'd be cool.
Another branch, yeah, that would be something pretty cool. Because nobody's to say that they can't do it. They do whatever the heck they want. The devs are listening.
Well, and that, you bring up a really, really good point, too, because from a programming point of view, all you do, instead of adding 10 new dailies, you add 5 new dailies and then add a couple new choices on each of the old ones. Yep. So you keep them alive, at least.
That is true, and that's what everybody wants is something fresh. So if they could do something like that, go ahead, agree.
And that was kind of what I was at about, the upgrading the adventures for the level 50 guys.
Okay,
that's a good point. It's you've done the same 4 or 5 choices in this certain adventure, and then they just all of a sudden you come in, you log in, there's a little patch that you download. It's a new branch, it's a new choice. It's not that big of an update. I don't think it would be that big a deal to add another new, a new leg to a choice that you made before. Oh, wait a minute, I haven't seen this before. And they can continually do that, and it would keep things fresh. But as far as me doing things over and over and over again, I doubt I would. I would probably spread it out, kind of like Streeg said. There's other things to do. There's your house to keep up. There's dungeons to run around in with your guild.
War plots.
Every now and then we're going to get a call to arms. Yeah, we'll have to drop what we're doing, and so yeah.
And PvP dailies were one type of dailies, even though I'm not a hardcore PvPer. In SWTOR, I didn't really mind going into the war zones for the PvP dailies because you were playing different people every time. So it did make it less monotonous.
Which is what they're trying to point at. What they're trying to do with this game is they don't want their player base to get bored and have the game turn monotonous. That definitely is what they've been shooting for. So, well, gentlemen, coming to the end of the cast here and everything, kind of a short one for us. Well, we still beat a half hour. That's pretty good, I guess. One thing that's been on everybody's mind, and it's been pressing on my mind, something horrible. Release date. We've all had talked about and everything like that. Now, one thing was pointed out to me today is somebody was looking up NCSoft's Q4 report, their end of the year report for last year, and in there they have what their plans are for the upcoming year, what's going to happen and everything. And I believe Gandamel was the one that found this for us, so thank you very much, Gand. And what he found was in their report, they're talking about how much money they're making. NCSoft is apparently making tons of money. Must be nice.
NCSoft.
It is NCSoft, yep. WildStar is expected to launch sometime in mid-2014. So that sounds to me like June, July, August. What do we think of that? Creed, I saw you light up.
I was really hoping for a March, but hey, we've said it a million times. Work on the game, get everything right. That's when the game should launch. We've seen huge disasters in the past when someone or when a company rushed a game out and then all of a sudden everything was just broke. And so that's okay. Mid-year would be fine with me. Just make sure everything's working. Little small problems, okay, big deal. Let's take
just
care
not
of
the weekend of the 21st.
Yes. The devs have to be listening. We have our get together then. We're doing other stuff, so not that weekend of June.
Food and beer.
Streeg, what do you think? I kind of see that long lips on you. You're like,
all I guess I can say is they have been talking about spring for a long, long time. And spring is, what, March 21st to May 21st? Does that sound right, gentlemen?
Somewhere in there.
So,
yeah.
Technically, if they waited to the end of spring, that would put you at the end of May. So that's pretty darn close to mid-year. So that sounds pretty much right on par for what they're talking. And I don't know what they're going to do for release, but if they go by the traditional old school MMO game release, you know how that goes. They sell a box, you buy the box, you get a 1 month free subscription before you actually start paying, which means they're not going to start seeing the subscription revenue for 30 days after they release, which now puts you at the end of June before NCSoft starts seeing their big money coming in.
That's true.
Yeah. That's true.
So I'm still sticking to my gun, saying spring and just bumping it from the beginning of spring to probably the end of spring, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, because we know April's out. They're not going to launch on the heels of Elder Scrolls. Regardless of how good the game is, it's Elder Scrolls. And Elder Scrolls could totally suck. And they're going to sell millions of copies because it's Elder Scrolls. And they're going to have people's attention for a month or two, at least a month. So I don't see an April launch at all. There's still the outside possibility it could be an end March release. Try to squeeze it in there before Elder Scrolls launches, but as every day goes by, that becomes less and less likely. So Streeg, you may be right on the money there. Second week of May.
Especially since it's like mid-February already, and you know they still have yet to do
short
their big press release hype mode to get the game out there in the nudes and get the hype going for it. So I definitely can't see end of March would be in 4 weeks. So that I don't see that at all. So yeah, I'm definitely saying end of May, hopefully. And you could be right. It might push back to June. Who knows?
I was personally
nothing's coming out in June. So anytime between May and June, July, August, I mean, nothing's coming out. So they're ripe for any of those 3 months, really.
Yeah, really are.
I was really hoping for the early spring, though. But like somebody pointed out on the chat, is that the summertime, which I consider June to be summer myself, but they pointed out that is like it's a horrible time to release a game too, because everybody's heading for vacations and everything.
Well, that's not necessarily true. We watched Final Fantasy. Now, granted, it was late summer, but we watched Final Fantasy launch toward the end of August last year.
Okay,
and they racked it up pretty hard.
That's true.
Neverwinter, I think, was beginning of June, wasn't it?
Beginning of May.
Oh, May. Was it May?
And they racked it up pretty hard too. They did. Both those games did well.
You got to think too. I mean, that's when all the kids are getting out of school and stuff, so they're all looking for something to do because they're bored. Because hey, I'm out of school. I got the summer off. I want a game to play.
No,
I think summer's a good time to release myself.
Let's face it. With the economy the way it is nowadays, as a parent, it's like, am I going to spend, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 going to Disney World for the kids? Or, hey, here's this game that will keep them happy for at least 2 or 3 weeks. The whole summer. I won't even hear them.
I think how the power of the hype will run some of these game releases. It really doesn't matter when the game releases. If the hype is big enough, I mean, they'll release that sucker right in the middle of the winter time when everyone's all bundled up in their house like we are right now. So.
All right. One other quick thing that just kind of pops in my head, then we really do need to wrap it up because we do have another cast coming up. Possibilities of we haven't had a release date. We have it coming up soon, and I think it's gonna be such a short amount of time between when they announce a release date and the release date actually hits. Oop, something's coming up. It makes me wonder if we won't see a CD or DVD version of this game. It will be download only. What do you guys think of that idea? Steel.
Download only? I don't think WildStar is going to be download only.
Okay.
It's the possibility of raking in a lot of money on a true collector's edition like Guild Wars 2, also buy. I don't see it being download only. I do see the ability to purchase a collector's edition or a box and be able to download it in advance, just like Guild Wars 2. Yep. But as far as not being able to buy a box, I don't see it with WildStar. Some of the other games launching, I can see it, but not WildStar. There's too much of a money-making potential. All the advertising they're doing, everything like that. So, yeah. I'd say you're going to be able to download it, but you'll be able to buy it at store too. Or both.
Or both. All right, guys. Any last thoughts?
Nope.
No last thoughts.
Nope.
Everybody's all
no last thoughts.
I'm ready to get out there, ready for this game to release. Whenever it's going to release. Bring it on.
Yeah. Bring it
Not
on.
soon enough.
I still haven't figured out Chew or Granark yet, so I'll make one of both.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
stay tuned. We have Steel. What's coming up next? You know best.
We have EverQuest's next landmark, the Bazaar.
The Bazaar. And it's so bizarre.
And I believe, don't quote me on this, because obviously I've been sitting here with y'all tonight, but last I heard, Night Angel was in contact with Brass, and we all know who Brass is. Night Angel was in contact with Brass about maybe the possibility of some giveaways tonight.
Ooh. I like giveaways. Give me one, Night Angel, now.
So don't hold me to that, because I haven't. Obviously, I've been here with y'all, but last I heard,
we appreciate it, sir. Yep. So, rushing away, Cannon Fodder logging off for the night. So, good night, everybody.
See ya.
Gentlemen, thank you. Till next time. Everybody.